Hi guys, good morning. I just wanted to share something really quick. I had to take a blood test this morning, and she took my right hand and was about to, puncture my vein. And I am driving, and I needed to drive today, so I remembered in the past, sometimes they puncture your left arm, which is not the arm that I usually use. And so I stopped her, the technician, in the middle, she didn't put the needle in yet. And I said to her, is it okay if we do the left arm instead of the right? And she said, yeah, sure, no problem. And so we switched it, and I'm actually really grateful because I use my right arm a lot more than my left, especially for driving, and it's much more convenient to not have a wound in it. So my purpose of sharing that story is that sometimes when people come in contact with people who they perceive as authority, like doctors or nurses or rabbis or therapists or people in professions that they're paying to go see, or they are the other person in a professional authoritative position, what happens is that they feel that their voice is less powerful or less important or less able to be expressed. They think oh, I'm here, I'll just do as the doctor says, I'll just do as the technician says, I'll just do as my therapist says or my rabbi says, or whomever else you can think of that's applicable to you. And the reason I'm sharing this is because your voice really matters, or if it's a shadchan even, someone who you think you have to please, your voice really matters, and it's important to use it and remember that you're never an inferior and other people are superior. You're never less than someone else simply because they're in a state of being the professional, so to speak, because you're a professional in your own way, in your own areas of life. But it's important that you recognize that when you're in that position, you're an equal, and that you have a right and a privilege and just an ability to speak up for whatever you want and whatever you're not feeling comfortable with or whatever your preferences are, and not to be afraid to stop the process and restart it in a way where it's beneficial. So the other day I had, I was speaking with one of my clients, and the question of is it okay to cancel? This actually comes up quite a lot because I work primarily with women getting married, God willing. And so the question came up of, is it okay to cancel on the second date once it's already been established? And the answer is yes, it's okay to cancel on a shadchan last minute, on a date last minute, on a doctor's appointment last minute. If something is not beneficial for you, then you have an obligation to protect yourself. No one, not any other person in the world, has an obligation to protect you like you. And so to victimize yourself by applying societal expectations or what you think is the right thing to do, which is limiting yourself, and there's no right and there's no wrong, not in general. In general, there is an objective right and wrong, but in regards to your own personal decision making of what's best for you, only really you can decide that. If you're honest with yourself and you take the time to say, is this going to benefit me or is this going to do harm? And if you take the time to ask yourself that question, is this going to hurt me or is this going to help me feel good and help me feel inspired and connected to God and connected to myself and, wanting to do more and live life in a better way, then you can proceed. But to just think that because someone is helping you or in a position of authority to succumb to their will over your will, in a sense, you're making them God. You're letting them play God. And when you allow someone else to create in your life, besides for you and God, you're giving over your power in a mistaken sense of way. Because no one is meant to create in our life for us above us besides for God, meaning that our value of our voice is invaluable, and that's the highest value. So if oftentimes people can become comfortable listening to other people's opinions as to what they should do without asking themselves how that resonates with them and if they think it's beneficial or not. So I hope you guys all have a beautiful day. Remember that with all your doctor's appointments or shadchanim or any other appointment or professional or rabbi or therapist that you seek, that you always check in with yourself and ask yourself, is this feeling comfortable for me? Is this beneficial? Is this what helps me? And if not, never be afraid to cancel last minute or to speak up and say something that you don't need. And if you don't even know what you need at that time, you can still speak up and say, I'm not feeling very comfortable now. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.